Hey everybody, I'm Mike from Regalo Photography, where we talk about everything photography. Today we're going to learn how to create a Kodak Porta 400 preset in Lightroom Classic. Kodak Porta 400 is a very popular style or film with wedding and portrait photographers. It gives the photo a warm, muted tone that is also soft. Also, the Porta 400 tends to have various amounts of green in the photo that helps soften skin tones as well as adds character to the photo. All right, here we are in Lightroom Classic. We are in the develop module and we are going to create a Kodak Portra 400 preset. Say that 10 times fast. So, gotta make sure you are in the develop module right up here. And we have the basic tab opened up. Okay. Now we're going to start out by decreasing contrast. I'm going to go for this particular photo. I'm going to go about 30 or so. Yeah, we'll go about 30 on that one. And also we are going to decrease the clarity, and I'm going to go probably about 20 on this one. Okay. And this is all going to depend on your photo. You know, different photos will be different amounts. So you're going to have to use your eye, see what looks best to you. But you want to basically, what you're doing is you're flattening and softening the photo. Okay. We're also going to decrease the texture a little bit. I'm going to do this one maybe by 10. It's like that. And again, you can see a little bit how it's starting to flatten out. And little by little, it's going to be flattening out more and more. We also want to mute the highlights a little bit, so we're going to lower them. And again, with this particular photo, we're going to bring it right down to nothing. And also we want to open up the shadows, flatten that right out a little bit. And then we want to bring our whites down just a tad. I think I'm at around 26 or 28 right now. Yeah, 26. So again, you can see how it brought out the subject. There's no more shadow on the face, just a little bit. This was a very bright sunny day, so it was very hard to get the lighting just right. We used no external lighting whatsoever. It was just all sunlight. And it was definitely the worst time of day you could do. It was around noon, bright sunny day, pretty much not a cloud in the sky. So, you know, we were going to get some shadows no matter what. But the sun was coming, if I remember correctly, back from the back behind her right here. You can see um, the hair light right here, the light right there. So sun was coming right from this direction right there. So we're going to open up the shadows more a little bit. All right, now we're going to go into the tone curve, and we want to bring the highlights down even more. Not too much, just a little bit there. And then what we want to do is we want to raise the blacks. And this one doesn't really have a lot of blacks in it, but what we're doing is flattening out a little bit. Oh, let me see. And then we're going to bring whites down a little. Oops, too much. There we go. Just like that. And not the perfect S curve, but it'll work. All right, next we want to do is we're actually going to go back into the color, and I want to increase the saturation. I'm going to go 15. We'll go 15 right there. And then the vibrance, I really want to bring the vibrance up a little bit. Actually, we're going to drop this saturation back down to 10. And then we're going to keep the vibrance at about 20 or so. There we go. All right, I'll leave it there at, there we go, at 20. Okay. Now in the HSL panel, we want to drop the reds a little bit. Okay, but we want to bring up the hue of the reds closer to an orange. That way, we're not going to lose any skin tones at all. We want to boost the oranges a little bit. Okay. However, we want to bring the luminance of the oranges down. We want to completely, oh, not completely, but we want to desaturate the yellows. We're going to add some yellow back later in color grading. So this way we can put it where we want it. So we're going to lower the yellow down. And I'm also going to move the yellows, the hue towards the orange a little bit more. Again, we want a warm tone. Okay. We want to desaturate the greens a little bit because again, we want to make those, see how they're darker now? Much better. Let's, no, we don't want to desaturate them too much. We're going to bring it up a little bit, but we're going to lower the greens, the luminance of the greens down, just like that. Now, normally on a photo, you would, when you're making a preset like this, you would lower the purples. However, in this case, the lilacs that are in front of the subject are purple, so we got to keep them. So what I want to do though is I do want to darken the purples a little bit. Okay, and let me see. Oh, actually, no, I did. I don't want to. That was saturation. I want to increase the saturation just a tad, but I want to lower. There we go. That's what I want. I want them to be a little bit darker. And actually, you know what? I am going to lower them down just a little bit. Again, we want to flatten it out a little bit. Now the magenta, there's really not much magenta in here, so we're just going to bring them right out of there. Again, we could add magenta back later when we are um, uh, doing color grading. Now, if you notice though, her skin tones, I'm going to have to add some magenta back. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to have to add some magenta back because her skin tone started turning green and we don't want that whatsoever. And again, we're going to fix that a little bit later. Okay. All right. Now I want to go back up into the basics tab and I want to add a little bit of warmth. Not a lot, just a little bit. And I want to add some magenta back. There we go. That's better. Okay. Now we didn't do much. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to take some of that out a little bit. That's too much. There we go. That's what we want. And we're just going to increase. Oh, that's too much. There we go. Now we got the warmth right there. All right. Now we're going to go down here to the color grading. And then in the shadows, we are going to add some bluish green tones. And again, we don't want to go too much. So let's, and that's going to go, oh, and we want to keep the luminance up high. We want to bring that right down into, yep, there we go. Yeah, we don't want to go too much onto the skin tones. We can fix that in a minute. Now here in the highlights, we are going to add some magenta back a little bit here. So let's see what we can do. There we go. And that's going to help what's the word I'm looking for? Counteract. It's going to counteract too much in there. So let's get that back there a little bit. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to lower the magentas a little bit in a minute anyway. So again, we want to make that one brighter. And then blending. Yep, now we're going to go back into the HSL. And I am going to lower the magentas a little bit more. Okay. Now, the other thing we want to do up in here, we want to lower the dehaze just a little bit. And then we want to, where is it? We want to increase the exposure maybe a tad. Because Porta 400 tends to be a little bit on the overexposed side. So, all right, now we're going to come down here to the effects tab. I might add a vignette in a minute, but what I want to do right now is I want to add some grain. So I want to see how much we can add here. And we're going to go maybe 40. The size, again, the size that's all going to depend on you. We don't want to go too big. And then the roughness, we want to rough it up just a little bit. Like that. We don't want to go crazy. We're going to keep it right around close to 50. And then we're going to lower the amount of grain here to about 30, 31. And let me see, does this photo need a vignette? I think that looks good right there. All right, now what we want to do is just kind of go back and kind of tweak a few things here and there. Let's lower the contrast down a little bit more. The whites, let's bring them down a little bit. Yep. Should we open up the blacks? Oh, yeah, we can do that. Let's open up the blacks a little bit. Clarity, I think that's good right there with the clarity and the texture. Vibrance, that's good. All we need to do now is just do a little bit of sharpening. Now I tend to always do that. We're not going to sharpen too much because we want to keep it soft. So we'll do that, and I'm going to do some masking. There we go. And we just want to keep a little bit of sharpening right there. Perfect. Okay. And I think we pretty much have our photo. Okay. And I'll put up on the screen before and after. I always forget how to do that on here. I know I don't do it too often, so actually, but anyway, there's your Kodak Porta 400 preset. What we're going to do is we're going to save this as a preset now. So what we want to do now is we're going to come on over here to the preset module. We're going to click plus. We're going to click create preset. And then we want to, I'm going to actually crop this photo in a minute, but I don't want to do it yet. Otherwise it'll be on there. So we're going to have everything. We're going to actually check all. Okay. And then we want to name the preset. So we're going to call it there we go. And we click create. And then it's over here in our use your presets. Where are we? Right there. There's the preset right there. Okay. So, well, hopefully you enjoyed learning how to create the Kodak Porta 400 preset. It's definitely a very popular look to do on portraits and wedding photography. Some landscapes as well, but usually more portraits and wedding portraits and stuff like that. So, please subscribe to my channel. Click the like button. Ring the bell if you want to know when my next video is coming out. And until next time, take care.